What's up?
Are you ready? Are you feeling hyped?
I don't know. This feels like ASMR, not exactly my idea of hype.
Oh my god, what if we did an ASMR episode? Welcome to yet another episode of The Impact. This time it's one of our last ones, RMC, as we've unfortunately got a few more fallen members to celebrate, or I guess mourn, as the case may be.
Indeed, here, yeah. And unfortunately, I think my biggest regret coming out of this week is that in the Fallen are all the remnants of the amateur scene, and now there are only academy teams left.
We did not get the repeat. We did not have a no org this time around, and I'm feeling a little bit sad about it. Sad enough to bring back a brief moment of silence. You ready, RMC?
Let's do it.
Please rise and observe a moment of silence.
All right, that's enough. We did most of it last week, and it was, I can't honestly put forth the same level of sadness this time around. And let me tell you why, honestly. Let me tell you why. Because you saw it coming. You knew it was gonna happen. And I think the one surprise that we had was wildcard, and they had two chances.
But it's wildcard. You traitor to the amateur scene.
They had two chances, dude,
I
and
mean,
it wasn't enough. It was close to being enough. Am I sad they're gone? Yes. But it was two back-to-back chances to not be gone.
third time's the charm. And you know what? I predicted wildcards be top four, so I am doubly sad because my predictions are messed up. But you mentioned that they couldn't do what No Org did. Well, there are still members of No Org who might be able to pull the repeat win because Immortals Academy still has Viper and Anda, and they're still in it. So with that, let's take a quick look here at the brackets. What happened this weekend? What is going to happen this coming week?
As you guys can see, TL Academy obviously putting Dignitas into the lower bracket, where Dignitas also, on their second chance, was eliminated, moving Immortals into that losers semis. I like you say, I'm excited for Immortals, but I'm also really excited to see what the 100 Thieves roster, moving themselves into the winners finals, can bring to the table.
Yeah, and let's talk a little bit about 100 Thieves Academy because
Mhm.
this is not the 100 Thieves Academy team that you saw during the regular season. Gamsu and Chad have been moved up for the purposes of the Proving Grounds, and my goodness, they look good right now. If I'm Tenacity, if I'm Kenpy, I'd be a little bit worried about coming back to this team and maybe not having a spot at the rate things are going.
These two guys have integrated really well,
Mhm.
and up against TL Academy, who have gone undefeated so far, I do think that they are the best matchup. 100 Thieves has done ridiculously well, also obviously going undefeated since they find themselves in the winners finals, although I will say that their wins have seemed a little bit less convincing to me than TL's, and I can't quite put my finger on why, RMC.
Personally, I think Wildcard Red was their first really big test. In the first
Mhm.
round, they faced TSM Academy, who have looked a little bit shaky, even when they qualified through Unified Grand Prix. And then EG Academy in their games against 100 Thieves Academy, it was one of my matches to watch for that week, but it really wasn't as clean as I would have liked either. It was a little bit messy, and it really, until Wildcard, I hadn't seen them very tested, very
Mhm.
proven here. And even against Wildcard, it was a 2-1. It wasn't that clean a win. So TL Academy, that is going to be a massive hurdle to overcome. And TL Academy, up to this point, have only dropped one game, and that was to the recent Dignitas Academy, their most recent game.
I do have to say that I appreciate that in all of the matches leading us into the last four teams, there wasn't one clean sweep. It was all 2-1s, and even Dignitas Academy taking the game off of Immortals. Yes, it may not have been a 2-3, it may not have been as close as it could possibly be, but still, being able to take games off each other in these extended series is a really nice amount of parity that I do like seeing at the top.
Fair enough. But yeah, you mentioned Immortals Academy. And now let's
Mhm.
draw our eyes to that lower bracket there because the two winners, Immortal Academy and Golden Guardians Academy, were knocked down to the losers bracket much earlier. Actually, in the first round, pretty much for both these teams, they got knocked right down and they've been battling their way through. And the experience is starting to show in these best of fives. Immortal Academy, their preparation is looking clean. Their early games, predicting where the junglers are, and their early ganks, the turret dives, those have been spot on.
Now, I agree, and I think that they have shown a tremendous amount of stability in the lower bracket. But, question, RMC, do you feel like they can compete with those two in the upper bracket? Because remember, they not only have to beat each other, but then they have to beat one of TL or 100 Thieves Academy who end up losing in the winners finals. That's a pretty tall order.
I think they can take 100 Thieves Academy. TL Academy, on the other hand, right now, hasn't really been challenged. We've only seen them go up against one Academy team so far, and that's Dignitas Academy. So I really don't have a good grasp on them. They feel like the final big bad boss. And as of right now, I'm still thinking they're going to be that. They're going to be the ones sitting at the grand finals, waiting for the survivor of the battle royale in the losers bracket.
TL Academy do feel like they have this ominous momentum behind them to meet one of the teams that, of course, will rise from the losers finals. It could be 100 Academy again. It could be IMT, but it could also be Golden Guardians, who did recently eliminate Wildcard.
For sure. And if we say that Team Liquid Academy is ominous, big bad, the inevitable final boss here, I felt like Wildcard Red was supposed to be that for the amateur scene. And their match against Golden Guardians Academy, heck, their match against 100 Thieves Academy here really shook me up because they did not look clean. They really looked like they struggled. And Arrow, who had up to this point looked utterly indomitable, looked utterly human against these AD carries here. And considering Golden Guardians Academy, the fact that they qualified out of UGP, they were 8th place in the regular season here, in the Academy regular season, that's not the cleanest. So I have hopes that, we get that anime arc. This is the training arc, the underdog, they're training up, they're coming up. And if anything, that was my match of the week because it was swingy. There were high highs, there were low lows, there was comedy, there was tragedy. It had it all.
I actually was very much on the same page. And for this week and this week alone, I don't think that we're separate at all. I also was absolutely captivated by the Wildcard versus Golden Guardians Academy series.
So, Dia, I think that's a perfect place to segue into our clips of the week. And here, Dia, this clip was super interesting to me because I felt Dapshin got robbed. You can't even see the chickens properly there. And unfortunately, the hook lands on the chicken instead. And that really turns the tides because if not, I think they kill Rosethorn quicker and they get out cleaner.
At least I have chicken.
That is a pausable moment. That is a hold on, what on earth happened? You've truly, RMC, once again been able to capture the wilderness. In fact, I want to take a look at this one more time.
Oh, no.
Now this one is a little bit more Winston focused because with that cataclysm right there, I mean you can already see what's happening.
Yeah, I think the moment you catch like 3 squishy targets in there or 3 high priority targets, you've done your job as Jarvan. And the fact that the GA kicks in as well, and he's still alive at the end of it, just adds so much value to closing this game out.
Yeah, I was really impressed as well with the fact that he ends up recommitting to the fight and still continuing to survive, constantly just as a frontliner, throwing his body in as initiation and as zoning tools as well. I can't take away from Brandini in this clip. He was also really amazing. But, of course, ultimately, I had to give it to Bradley and Winston, who ended up being the deciding factors in a lot of these team fights because of the crowd control that they were able to consistently lay down for their backliner, I guess is Bradley.
I mean, there's Arrow as well. If we're talking backline, right? It's wildcard red. There's always Arrow. But
I just no, wait. I have to stop. I don't mean that Arrow wasn't backline. I mean that it doesn't make sense to say Bradley was peeling for the backline if he is part of the backline.
what a save!
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it now. Sorry. Yeah. It was a little
I know it
confusing.
sounded like I was flaming Arrow. Yes, wildcard lost, but I'm not furious. I'm not. Calm down, LCK. I'm not. Yeah.
I mean, I know that Bradley's your MVP, but come on.
It's true. I was going to say they'll likely see their return to Proving Grounds. And the nice thing for a lot of the amateur teams, especially Wildcard, is I feel like during their run in this tournament, they've still showcased a lot of raw talent that will likely get them picked up into Academy, into LCS in the future. I know that in the offseason, there's a lot of interest that gets accumulated and thought about from these organizations. And definitely, I think that Wildcard, even in their 2 losses that ultimately eliminated from the tournament, showed a lot of promise.
Definitely. And now that we've, taken a look here, Dia, at what has transpired, let's cast our eyes to the future here, because the next week is going to be interesting. Not only do we have, I guess you can call them the semifinals here of the both the winners and losers bracket, but we're actually going to see everything else, including the losers finals and the grand finals here.
RMC, I want you to start me off. What is the game that you're watching of all of them next week?
Okay, because we only really know what the semifinals are at this point, I had two options. Either one, I go with the cop-out route and I say, watch the grand finals, because that's obviously the two best teams, right? Or I go with, let's look at the semifinals here, round 5. And if we are, my interest is actually in the losers bracket between Immortals Academy and Golden Guardians Academy, because both these teams have greatly impressed me. Immortals Academy, they have, I guess, what's left of the amateur presence in Viper and Anda. Oh, I guess 100 Thieves also has Gamsu and Chad right now, but those are the returning champions right now, Viper and Anda. They're on Immortals, and the way they've played the losers bracket has been very cerebral. I've been very impressed with their coach, Jensen, for how he's been able to pick apart other teams' early games, and I expect that to continue here. As for Golden Guardians Academy, they've had a rough academy split, but they came down to UGP, managed to do well there. They came in here, and they've completely outperformed themselves. I think if there was an award for greatest improvement, it would go to Golden Guardians Academy. So having seen how they performed and considering that Golden Guardians Academy were the ones to knock out Wildcard, part of me wants to see them succeed to keep that sort of amateur flame alive.
All right. I have to admit, I like the story that you've built up, and I'm going to answer that story with Spice.
Okay.
Because my match to watch in this upcoming week, RMC, is going to be Golden Guardians Academy versus TL Academy in the losers finals. That is what that is what I am saying is my match to watch. I am full sending it. I've said it, and I will not be doing any other takes. That's it.
Yeah, you weren't kidding when you said adding some spice there, because you're predicting TL Academy to lose the 100 Thieves Academy. Is that correct?
That is correct. That is what I am saying in my statement. Am I nervous? Yes. Am I doubting myself? Yes. But am I really hoping that it's what happens? Also, yes.
Please, in the comments below, bring the heat, whether you liked it or not. I'm going to stay out of that one here, but you're a brave soul.
I promise I'll check back in, and I will let each and every one of your comments go to my heart. But as we do move into the next week, I can't say that anything can really bring me down, RMC, because we are going to get some of the best games of League of Legends that we've had in the amateur scene for a long time. So while I want people to comment on this video, I want people to like, follow, and subscribe to more of the Impact's content. I also cannot wait for the games that this week will bring.
For sure. I'm right with you there, Dia. I mean, it's the stunning, epic conclusion to literally months and months of games here for both academies and amateur teams. So I cannot wait to see who will be left standing at the end of it, whether it will be Team Liquid Academy, that final boss, whether it will be your spicy take of 100 Thieves Academy somehow making it through. Will it be Golden Guardians, who you predicted to potentially make it to the losers finals, go from 8th to 1st here? Or will it be Immortals, the returning champions from last split? We'll find out, Dia, on the next episode of The Impact.